Hey guys, Nishi here. Time for another vlog video. So today it's story time. I decided I would share a story with you guys from when I was younger and silly because I think it would be fun. So this goes back to little Nishi, who was about, I want to say I was about 8 or 9. Um, Maybe a little older. I was definitely starting middle school, so I was definitely around like 5th, 6th grade. For sure. So at the time, I didn't know how to ride a bike. And my dad, love him to death, my dad really wanted to teach me how to ride a bike and whatever. So at the time, we lived in this house and it had a grassy hill that I would practice on. And I fell a lot. I had no balance as a kid. I still don't have balance now. But as a kid, it was really bad. I fell upstairs. Actually, it's nice to know that I'm not the only one that does it. Every time I say that, like, people are like, I do that too. I'm like, okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one. So I don't feel as bad about that anymore. But yeah, I had no balance. I kept falling. I got to a point where I was kind of getting there and I was going down the hill or whatever. Well, on top of having this grassy hill in our yard, we lived on a street, and from my house, from the driveway, if you kept going straight, you would reach the end of the street and whatever. But if you turned left, we had this really steep concrete hill that went to the bottom, and there was a giant oak tree at the bottom of it. So my dad was like, okay, he was tired of me going in the grass. He thought I was being a wuss, and I should start practicing on the concrete or whatever. So I told him, like, okay, well, if you want me to practice on the concrete, I want to go inside and find my knee pads and my elbow pads. Because at this point, I wasn't really wearing anything but my helmet, but it was grass. So, you know, I thought, it's fine, it'll be fine, whatever. But when he mentioned concrete, I'm like, I want to go get my safety gear, which you would think would be a good thing, right? Safety? No. My dad told me if I went in there, I was done riding the bike for the day. And I did. I wanted to learn how to ride a bike. And I was just like, really? And he's like, yeah, if you go inside, get your pads and waste time and whatever, we're not going to do this anymore today. And I, being the kid I was like, okay, fine. I guess I'll just wear my bike helmet. Okay. So I get on the concrete hill. We reach at the top. Dad's balancing me. My mom comes out and she's watching too. And I love my parents to death, and I don't know why he thought that was a good idea at all. So, he gives me a start, a little push nudge off, and I go down and I'm riding, and I'm keeping my balance. I'm surprised. I'm going straight down the hill, and I don't have to pedal anymore. I'm going so fast. It's really cool for a few seconds. And then I realized, oh boy, there's the big oak tree. I better slow down. Now, at this point, I don't know what it was. I don't know if I was just paralyzed for some reason or what, but my legs and my brain weren't connecting. There was some sort of malfunction because I wasn't putting on the brakes. If anything, I was just picking up more speed. And I'm seeing this giant oak tree, and I'm like, this isn't going to end well. I got to do something. So you would think, okay, you finally screeched on the brakes, right? Nope. I instead tilt to the left, just enough to where I'm turning. So you missed the tree. Nope, headed straight for a mailbox. The last thing I remember was I saw the mailbox, and I was heading for that, and I just accepted my fate. I guess I was just like, this is it. This is how it's gonna end. And then I did the only thing that I guess made sense. I closed my eyes. I didn't want to see me crashing to the mailbox, so I just decided I'm gonna close my eyes. The next thing I somewhat remember, I remember hitting it. I remember feeling the pavement. I remember hearing my bike tires screech across the concrete. And I opened my eyes just a little bit. And I look up and I see a figure at the top of the hill and another figure running down. And it obviously was one of my parents. Turned out to be my dad. And he's running down the hill. And I turn my head slightly to the left, and I legitimately see the head of the mailbox sitting next to my head. And at that point, I closed my eyes again, because I was scared. The bike was on top of me. I was no longer on the bike. I don't know how I ended up under the bike without, like, you know, disjoining my legs or whatever. But I was, and I really didn't want to look at the state I was in. My dad comes up, he gets the bike off of me, and I stand up very weeble wobbly, and I've got this giant scrape on my right arm from my elbow about halfway up. And that was it. I mean, besides being a little bit dirty and pretty much, I guess in a way, traumatized, I was okay. Which my dad came down expecting broken bones, like bones coming out of my muscle, my skin or whatever. Like, he was expecting me to be really messed up, because what had happened was when I hit that bike, from his perspective and my mom's perspective, the top of the mailbox came clean off the metal pole that was on, flew through the air, and then landed smack dab right next to my head. I'm lucky the thing didn't hit me on the head. And the thing about it is that, like, if it's a metal, mailbox that's in the concrete ground, it takes a lot of force to knock that piece of crap off of the pole. But the funny thing about it, well, it's funny now, is that the mailbox turned out to be a clip-on. He literally just had to press it on. It was one of those cheap plastic mailboxes that you just clip on. It just looked like metal. So thank God for my dumb luck. I came up there, and I'm a kid, so yes, I'm crying. And I showed my mom, and my mom was like, she didn't tell me until like now, but like she was in tears. She didn't run down, because my mom doesn't handle her kids getting hurt. Like, she could get hurt, or dad could get hurt, or somebody else could get hurt. She could stand the blood or whatever. When it comes to her kids, a single drop of blood, she's like, ah! So she didn't want to be down there because of that particular reason, because there's no point in a panicked parent being around the kid. When I came up and showed her my elbow, it still kind of freaked her out, but she kept comforting me, and she made a joke of, like, I would give that a 7.5 out of 10, and I didn't find it funny at the time. I find it funny now. But yeah, after that, I never tried learning how to ride my bike again. Well, I can't say that. I rode it once or twice, but I never fully learned how to do it. So... lesson learned, if your kids want to pursue safety, I suggest you let them do it. To this day, I still can't figure out why it was bad for me to get my elbow and knee pads, but I guess my dad was trying to toughen me up. Instead, he did the opposite, and I just never rode my bike again. So, that was my story for this vlog. Just wanted to share you guys a little story that my friends find funny, and I still kind of find funny now. If you guys like the story, I'll be happy to tell you more stories and other things. If you liked this video, just like the video. If you want to leave a comment, please do down below. If you want to suggest things, or like you want to hear me blather on about a character or story or whatever, go ahead. I will definitely consider it for a future video. If you want to watch out for more, please subscribe and click some of the links below if you want to see some of my work. So that's the end for this one. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you all. Nishi out.